Starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey gamers, this is Kita again, and today we have another special playthrough of Majora's Mask. I have some people here to help me commentate.
This is the Ox. Hello. Or James, if you prefer.
Yeah, I'm GlitchesAndStuff still, or Adam if you prefer.
I'm ZFG. I might just ask questions for commentary and stuff.
Right.
Zelda Freak Glitcha if you prefer.
I do not prefer.
Okay.
So now we finally know what the bonus category is based on that file name. It's one cycle. Everyone acts surprised.
Yeah, no one was spoiled.
Wow. Absolutely zero spoilers.
So ever since the early days of Majora's Mask, even before speedrunning was popular, there was always a challenge category of one cycle or the 3-day challenge. But all of those were really not 3-day challenges. They all took 6 days or 2 cycles. But
Yeah.
people just kind of didn't count the first cycle. Like, oh, that's just the 0 cycle. You're just a Deku. You can't do anything. So, yeah, the question just stayed open for a long time. Is it possible to beat it in one cycle? Eventually, it was discovered that if you could get your hands on any normal mask, then you could use the Honey and Darling shop on day 3 on the Japanese version to turn human in the first cycle. But we could never get a normal mask, so we just kind of left it at that. And then more recently, another way was discovered to use restricted items like a normal mask as Deku. But still, so we could use it on English. But the issue was still we couldn't get a normal mask. SRM was discovered, and so there was a way to turn human using that, but now we kind of look at that as cheating for most of our categories, so it wasn't very satisfying to do it that way. But even more recently, there was finally discovered a way to get that coveted mask, that normal mask, as Deku. So we'll talk about that more when it comes, but the question this run sets out to answer is, can we finally, after 23 years, beat Majora's Mask truly in one cycle with no SRM?
I should explain really quickly why this is different from the real 3-day challenge. So, yeah, 2 years ago we did the real 3-day challenge where we used SRM to get the Deku Mask. This run is very much surprisingly different from that. You would think it's not different based off of how similar the concept is. And the very key difference is that we don't have the Deku Mask. So this is actually a lot more challenging than it seems at first glance. It's kind of opposite of how you would expect. Normally when you get a challenge, you're like, wait, how is that possible? I don't understand. Like you see the challenge, it seems impossible. This one's the opposite, where this seems really easy, but there's obstacles that you wouldn't think of that make this way harder. So much so that I'm not so sure people would even do this RTA.
Yeah, you might think, well, yeah, once you're human, it's easy. You can do basically whatever you want, but that's not true. We'll talk about the hurdles as they come. But yeah, it is definitely not a trivial yes now that we can finally become human. I will also mention that I know in the last run you saw some day resets. In this run, technically a day reset keeps you within the cycle, so we could still use them in a one cycle, but I will tell you right now, we're not going to do that. It's going to be the one similarity with the true one cycle is that the clock is never going to go backwards.
Okay, it will actually not be more than 3 days, and no extra technicalities about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is a real 3-day challenge. But if you did want to day reset, like say you're doing this RTA, you would have to pause for like 2.5 hours. That's the only method you'd be able to do.
You have to pause all the way from dawn to night of that day, right?
I don't remember exactly. I think you have to pause like a full like 24 hours or something in game time.
If you
takes forever.
if you do manage to get to a certain point, though, you could do the day reset the same way that they did in the last one.
Yeah, but that's easier said than done, as we'll see.
Yeah, to reset the day, you would, as quick as possible, you would wait until just before it turns night, and then pause through all of night until it becomes day again. Takes a long time.
Yeah, time does move while you're pausing. When you pause, the game will move forward one frame of game time, but not advance the actual game.
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna use a little bit of that in this run, a very little bit of that, but you will get to see it.
Yeah, it was much more of a thing in the previous one.
But it is important. It is necessary. And you'll see why.
I didn't plan that.
Nice.
We're playing English now for good reasons.
English is needed.
Yeah.
Like, both of these Lotads needed their respective version.
First A press.
Yep.
A lot of
Definitely
A
not
presses
the
there.
first
I feel like this run's already past 29.
Oh yeah, I was using A to advance all this text for sure.
Oh, okay, yeah, then for sure.
So most of this task was done by the Ox. I did a few small segments, which is why my name's in the credit. But yeah, all this stuff is not done by me. So yeah, good work on all this. You worked really, really fast on this as well. It was really impressive and good for such good movement.
Well, this part I ripped straight from my old, my previous Lotad, so this part didn't take very long this time around.
Nice text skip. The perceptive viewer noticed that the text was skipped.
Oh, nice. Jump up the cog.
You can count the poses this time.
Yeah, you're allowed to count them.
This time it's optimized.
As we mentioned, the last one is faster to reset here, but I don't know, it felt against the spirit of the one cycle to go back to file select and start over. I don't know. It's just a personal decision, an artistic decision to go all the way through here.
Yeah, it's not a massive time difference anyway. I think it's only a few seconds, right? Maybe even like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. In fact, it saves so little time that I think on VC you wouldn't do it. Or no, I'm thinking of Song of Time reset. You wouldn't do it on VC.
So obviously, the first thing you want to do in a challenge where you have limited time, only 3 days, is skip 1.5 of those days. So that's what we're doing here.
Yeah, we still have time-dependent stuff, so instead of waiting, we can skip the days that we don't need.
Yeah.
I want to like clear something up out of the way, is that there's like a display of the game time that's reading from the game time directly. So sometimes you'll see it do weird things. That's just what the game does. I can't really explain why it does that.
Yeah, especially prior to getting to Clocktown.
And I was actually kind of surprised at just how well the timing worked out from this point. And you'll see why when we get to it.
Yeah.
So already half the cycle gone.
A lot of you'll see whys in here. A lot of things to keep in the back of your mind. Time is moving very quickly because it's first cycle, and we don't have Ocarina, so because of that, like, yeah, our time limit is a lot faster than it normally would be otherwise.
Yeah, and again, time in first cycle moves at 5/3 the speed of regular time, so it's pretty fast.
Yeah. No cutscene trigger because no Ocarina still, and we do still have enough time to get some rupees, and you'll see why we need those later also.
There's a really good RNG manipulation as well. I mean, just in general, Lotads are generally not as high quality as this, so having things like RNG manipulation from bushes is really cool to see.
Those of you from the Chicago area actually know that Fifth Third Bank was named after the Majora's Mask in-game time.
Oh, nice lore.
10 people in chat got that. I see you.
I didn't understand half of those words.
Well, big octo skip, it's kind of a staple of Lotads now. Done a little bit differently this time, landing on that second lily pad instead of the first one. This is kind of neat.
Yeah,
though.
so
Oh, nice. I didn't know Deku could grab that ledge.
Yeah.
it's pretty precise. But yeah, what happened with the big octo skip, if you haven't seen it before, is if you drown as Deku in water, you get a bunch of frames where if you get hit, then you get recoil speed. So it's exactly the same thing as what happens when you roll and get hit, and you can get a Hess. And that same effect happens from drowning instead of rolling, but for a much longer period of time. And so you can get hit by that projectile from the Octorok, and you go flying backwards.
Yes, and if you have seen it before, then you're probably expecting us to do a reverse big octo skip in the near future, but we won't be doing that. Even though we could.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. There is one more thing we need from this area first, so we're gonna go grab that before we make our way back.
Now I know what only the astute viewer is thinking right now, which is how could we possibly get Sonata if we don't have Ocarina? Since you need Ocarina to pull out the Ocarina.
You might be surprised by the answer. You gotta get these rupees.
If you're a normal viewer, you'll be surprised.
And we got our 92, exactly what we needed.
Love the Deku side hops.
So this was the thing we needed. We needed magic beads, not Sonata. And if you were watching in the last Lotad, you heard the explanation that if you are above a grotto, or in the air at a grotto entrance, the frame before a night transition, you can go to the mayor's residence when you go back in, and that's what we did. So it was nice that the timing of all the travel worked out that way. But we don't really need this night either. All the important stuff that we gotta do is in the third day, so we'll probably just I don't know, what do you think? Should we just skip it?
Should we have a vote?
Time's gonna be really tight.
Well, let's take care of a few things first.
This is something I'm really happy is in this run. Because, I mean, Blast Mask is really cool, but I love the old-fashioned way sometimes.
Yeah, as cool as Blast Mask is, it's also extremely slow.
Oh, we've seen enough Blast Mask for a long time.
Yeah.
The astute viewer will recognize that the only reason to ever deposit exactly 2 rupees in the bank is if all you need is the adult wallet. So that's the same reason we deposited 2 rupees in the bank this time. And now things get real.
Now Chad is asking if non-Kita astute viewers counts. I guess, okay, for the purpose... yeah, yeah, for the purpose of this, that will not count. It only counts from Kita.
So, just last year, Exodus found a way to get a mask as Deku, and here it comes. There's this very precise clip in the laundry pool you're going to see right here. Make our way to this out-of-bounds water, hop on it for a bit, just so we don't void out. Get into the loading zone.
Nice.
And thankfully, this is one of the few masks in the game where it doesn't check your form to see whether to give you the mask. So we can actually just get it.
Yeah, this has been theorized and looked for a long time, and there've always been ways to get in here as Deku, but never like specifically in first cycle, except for like some very strange edge cases that don't really work out.
Power keg from another file.
Yeah, power keg from another file, but yeah, finally there it is. After a long time of searching.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many hours I've spent trying to do that, and Exodus finally figured it out.
Yeah, the specific discovery was that clip out of bounds in laundry pool, like spinning at the wall that just clips you out of bounds.
It's because there's another wall that pushes you. There's like an intersection. And that had to be done on day 3. So that's part of the challenge that's worth mentioning. It's that Keaton Mask is only available on day 3, and once it's day 3, we can't go back. That's part of the 1 cycle challenge. So
yeah, so it's almost a 1-day challenge. Only a very little bit is done on day 1 and 2.
Yeah, and you'll see some more time restrictive item that we'll get later.
Yeah. Also, the ice there is another thing that's just not there if you don't have Ocarina. If you're in first cycle.
That backflip is really, I find it really precise. If you backwalk at the right angle as Deku, there's like a tiny bit of ground you can backflip over those snow boulders from. I don't know how you got it so quickly. I find that really hard.
Yeah.
Just try long enough, you find the one jump. Same thing with this. You try this long enough, you find a. Sorry, never mind. I'm foreshadowing. I forgot we're going somewhere else first.
Yeah. Where are we going?
Well, I mentioned there's another method that was discovered to get restricted items in this cycle. That's the method that we're trying to achieve right now.
Yeah, so on Japanese it's as easy as just playing the Honey and Darling minigame. Like, it's really strange. You can just use any item. But on English you have to be a bit more creative.
Yeah. We're also trying to get low health.
I swear I didn't hiccup for an entire year. Last time I hiccuped was 365 days ago.
And we're already at 3 this run. There are more hiccups than astute viewers.
So, Lens of Truth is a critical part of this new restricted items strategy. So that's why we came here to get it. But we don't want to walk all the way back to the beginning of this area, so we're just gonna go ahead and die. But not before grabbing some rupees. It was nice of them to put the Skulltula so close to the chest.
Skips the game over music if you get it like that.
Because that lens chest grotto counts as one of the like underground holes, like grottos. Doing a death warp there doesn't take you to the entrance of the lens cave, it takes you all the way back to the previous entrance before that, which is really convenient.
Yeah. So as I was saying, I was kind of surprised at how quickly this went. You might be too if you've ever tried to get this trick.
For everyone in chat that tried to get this trick.
Yeah.
I think there's only one other person that tried this trick, and they're in the call right now.
Yeah, I'm not even in the chat.
Yeah, just look how fast this is.
Yeah, so I think maybe just watch and then we'll explain what happened afterwards.
There we go.
There we are. Human in first cycle on English. No SRM.
So as mentioned, it used the fact that we have a normal mask, a non-transformation mask, and we found a way to use that as Deku, which can just turn you human for some reason. I still don't know why they did that, but yeah, that's the mechanic. And the way that you use that item is a very clever combination of the state where you're hanging on a ledge and the state where you're climbing on a ladder. So if you're hanging on a ledge, then your C button's usability doesn't update. So normally if I were to equip something like Powder Keg as Human Link, it would like disable that button on my if I equip Powder Keg to C left, let's say, as human, it would sort of grey out that button and make it disabled, so I couldn't use it. Those button updates don't happen if you're hanging on a ledge. So we get something called ledge down A by hanging on a ledge and then being dunked into the water on one of those ice platforms. That was what that thing we were talking about being really fast to get was. Normally previously when I've tried it, grabbing onto the ice platform, it takes a long time before you get dunked underwater by just the physics of the ice platform. So we do that, which preserves ledge state but allows Deku to walk around still. And then you climb on a ladder, which forces the Lens of Truth to be usable, so that's why we got the Lens of Truth. And then we get off the ladder, we've now got Lens of Truth usable, and ledge state means that we can't update our button usability, and that means that we can then put a mask over Lens and use it.
Yeah.
And while I was explaining that, a bunch of other stuff happened. So.
Yeah, I mean, we just did a Hess in time stop with a bunch of bomb techniques just so that we don't lose too much time, because we're already in the final day and we still don't have Ocarina, so we can't just let time keep running all willy-nilly. So that's why we did that. But we got enough rupees to fill our wallet, and then we went to the bank. We did the bank clip to be able to get to the hidden owl, which is going to be useful for index warping soon. And this is a part that GNS did. That bomb hover up to this chest is amazing.
Yeah, so we're kind of in panic mode now because we've finally turned human, but it's so late. It's like day 3. So we're trying to use time stop as much as we can because the clock's still running really fast. We don't have Ocarina yet. So you're going to see like a lot of pulling out bombs, trying to time stop, just to prevent the clock from moving.
Which means we're going to need some help. That's why we get that fairy there. We can't just keep doing bomb time stop forever. We'll die. But thankfully there's some strategic help along the way.
Can you hear my cat?
No.
Aww.
So this is kind of a section maybe I can explain. That glitch we saw earlier to turn human, that was only found about 2 months ago. And we were kind of scrambling to figure out whether you can actually do this challenge now, finally. Because you'd think that maybe now that we can just turn human in first cycle, it's easy, like job done. It's, you just go and beat the dungeons now, get all the masks, but it's not that easy. So that's kind of what this challenge was all about, figuring out what do we do from this point forward. So yeah, that human first cycle was originally discovered by getting Keaton Mask, using a powder keg from another file. by me about 2 months ago, and then Exodus found the one you saw in this run. So 2 really cool, big, historic tricks found very, very close to each other. But yeah, the rest of this run is just figuring out what you do next to beat the game.
Yeah. So first we got to get this bottle. The bottle's going to be vital, and then once we have one real bottle, we're going to get rid of all the stuff that we don't need and put bottles in their places. So the special delivery, we got it along with the Keaton mask, but we don't need it for anything, so we'll put a bottle over that. And we don't need the Keaton mask anymore either, so we'll go ahead and put a bottle over that, and the lens as well. The delivery we'll do later, but these 2 we'll go ahead and do right now.
It's way harder to commentate these when it's task movement. I've realized everything happens so quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now we've got 2 bottles of spring water. And you might be able to guess what they're both for. But now we're coming into our other time locking thing that we need. And so once we get this, then the run really starts. This is another part discovered and done by Glitches and Stuff. So you can explain this if you want.
I don't remember what happens here.
Oh, after we deposit the rupees, we got to get into the curiosity shop.
Oh, right, yeah, okay. Oh, I don't know if I can explain that. I don't want to explain it before you see it.
Okay.
I'll try and explain it after you see it.
Okay, adult wallet's going to be important because of what's in the curiosity shop. That's the whole reason we got it. So now pay attention. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, we got to get in there quick because we're waiting on in-game time. We want to get in just when it turns nighttime, basically. So that was a really cool out-of-bounds clip, and just in time for nighttime here, so that we can buy the big bomb bag. The idea is to jump and fall so that one of those little small steps that you run up in that part of Clock Town becomes like a wall. If you're falling fast, then steps become walls. And then you can get boosted through like a small corner that's made between the actual wall and the step.
Now we put we put a bottle over our special delivery. We're selling the spring water a few times just to get a few more rupees because our bomb shoes are empty now, but we need them, so we're gonna go buy some. So why?
Spoon's dropped here.
So now the question is, why did we have to do that? What's the whole point of waiting to get the big bomb bag? Why do we need so many explosives? Why are we going about this now instead of just going straight to dungeons? The main issue that was left, now that we can turn human, is getting the ocarina. And if you're thinking, oh, just use get item manipulation. All the known ways of get item manipulation require either the hookshot or the Zora mask. We can't get the Zora mask because we don't have the ocarina, we don't have the Song of Healing yet. And we can't get the Song of Healing without the ocarina, or something in our ocarina slot. And we can't get the hookshot because we can't get the bow, because we can't raise Woodfall without the ocarina, and we can't, we don't have Deku Mask either. We don't have a Deku to shoot down the beehive, so we can't get the ocarina through get item manipulation. And without the ocarina, we can't get, or the hookshot, we can't get into Woodfall. We can't unfreeze Goat because we can't get the arrows. We can't enter Great Bay. So all these temples are locked to us, which means there's not really anything we can do there except for this temple. And that's why we need all those explosives. And that's what we're about to take care of right now.
So you might also be wondering, why can't you just go up to the top of the clock tower and get the ocarina? You can. The issue is you can't leave. So you could get the ocarina anytime. The problem is you want to leave.
Yeah,
So,
and you'll see how we leave in a little bit. It's important that we were able to get into one temple, because getting into one temple is going to be necessary for that leaving, as we'll see. we're gonna have to get to a Y value of about 1846, and our starting Y value is negative 500 something. So that's why we're gonna need a whole lot of explosives. We couldn't have done this without the big bomb bag, and that's why it was a time limiting item. It's not enough to just get the mask and get turn human in time. You're gonna have to get to the big bomb bag in time. Well,
yeah,
for this next part, sorry.
and then blast mask also wouldn't have been an option because you could only do that on day 1, which you wouldn't have been able to get human yet.
Yeah, and also it's way too slow.
Yeah.
Thankfully for this part we can use this geometry, and while we're doing all these hops we can have it in time stop, so at least there's that.
This is why the run's on English, by the way, for what we're about to do. It won't work on Japanese because we rely on there being switches on the temple side. That's one of the changes. They added those to the English version.
And now that we're at the top of this thing, the rest of this is just going to be a bunch of hovering. We're going to be using nearly all of our explosives to get to the height we need. In the last Lotad, Kita went and killed all the Rerecords. We didn't have time to do that in this one, which means coming up here you're going to see a mega flip that actually loses a fair amount of height, not too much, but that mega flip is intended, just this one right here, is intended just to get past the area where the Rerecord would have stopped us.
Oh yeah, because Rerecords, when they try to freeze you, they don't check for height, right? And so they can freeze you even if you're really high above or below them.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, like, I set that up and I forgot to explain why I killed the
Yeah, I just remembered that we never went over that last time.
Getting close here. We're gonna have to start turning a little bit, adjusting our angle. But
see,
almost
you
there.
can see that we use like almost all of our explosives right now, and that's why we had to go and get the big bomb bag. We could have just got the normal bomb bag from the bomb shop, but instead we had to go into the curiosity shop to buy the bigger one. This is why. You just need to be so ridiculously high in the air.
And as explained already, we couldn't save the old lady because that was the first night and we weren't human yet. Just enough time to barely get to the switch before the water
Nice.
hits.
That's why English only, that switch.
Alright, so no bow. We've got a few explosives, but it's going to be hard to maneuver through this dungeon with just the 3 bombs that we have. So we're going to do this. This is the reason we got the...
Oh my god.
And the other one.
We don't.
Yeah.
Obviously, we can't leave. We don't have Song of Soaring or anything, or an ocarina to play it with.
We have Song of Soaring, just not the ocarina.
Sorry, yeah.
Oh, and Hidden Owl hasn't been set up, right?
Yeah, Hidden Owl has.
Yeah.
The issue is not being able to leave
Oh,
and come back.
oh,
It's
right,
not
right, it
flip
was.
again.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. If you left and came back, you'd have to flip the dungeon again, which obviously we don't want to do.
Yeah, so there's a bomb chute chest up there.
Yep, and a bomb. There's a bomb in a pot up there too. So we got 5 more bombs, 10 more bomb chews.
Nice.
We actually used the Song of Soaring to get up here the first time. It's the Sword of the Owl.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
All right, so now we have enough explosives to go through. We're cutting it close on something important here, but thankfully we won't. It's going to be just as we're about to start a hover that you'll see what happens. But it's before that we want to store a song. The only song we have, so we got to use this section here. Yeah, so that slope is enough for us to use the bomb ocarina items. All right, this cutscene hits just before we start our hover into the loading zone, the boss loading zone. So that timing worked out great too.
Yeah, so
this would happen.
Yeah, this cutscene happens no matter where you are on first cycle. Oh, we should also probably talk about storing a song. Yeah, so when you played the ocarina falling into a void there, if you play a song there, the song doesn't complete, but if you pull up a text box, it'll pull up the text box of whatever song you played and activate it. And that can usually be done through the pause menu.
Yeah, we're not gonna do it that way though. Also, how are we gonna beat Twin Mold? We have no bow, we have a few bombs, we don't want to take too much time here.
The part of chat that assumed that you need arrows for Twin Mold is in shambles right now.
Yeah, so we're gonna do it this way. We're not gonna use up much time, and it's in-game time, that is, and it's fairly efficient. And we'll use Tattle's text to bring up this, and now time has stopped. As long as this text box is up, it stopped. So thankfully that's how we save a lot of the time that would have been passing.
So stick ISG for Twin Mold.
Yeah, each one hurts as much as an arrow.
How painful was this to do?
It was fun. I actually enjoyed doing it.
Yeah, you got it really quick as well. I remember hearing when you got to this section, I was like, oh, this is going to take a while. And then you were done pretty quick.
Yeah,
Actually, I thought that you were going to use bombs. You didn't reveal to us how you did this section straight away.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't have enough bombs. I used one at the beginning of this. The same one that I got ISG with. I used it on the green one. Red needs 3 more hits right now. Green needs 8. So we'll just Oh, and also when one of them dies, that cancels your ISG because the cutscene plays. So now red has 1 hit left, and I don't want to kill it yet. So I'm gonna bring green down to very low health before I kill the red one.
It's actually blue.
Is it?
Sorry to find out this way.
Oh, I always called it green.
It's blue because of fire and ice arrows that are each weak to their opposite one.
Oh. Well, I'm just gonna call it green. I'm too used to it. I can't undo that. Does it really look blue, or is it just because of the arrows that you say that?
It's blue.
Okay.
Trust me. Would I lie? I'm either lying or telling the truth, after all.
Alright, so green is down to 4 health, so we can kill the red. The stick doesn't normally do 4 health unless you do a jump slash. We haven't been doing jump slash because, first of all, it would break the stick, and second, we would cancel this text box. But now, neither of those things matters.
There's a fun fact I've been meaning to point out. The bomb count is like flashing different colors. And only the true ascended viewer knows why. And that's because when the Tattle C up is going back and forth, that's what makes the color change. So that's been happening all throughout the run.
Yeah, so any room where we have that we spend more than 30 seconds in, since we don't have the ocarina, we're still getting that Tattle C up.
And that ammo count thing, that fun fact, that's first cycle only. That happens in normal gameplay with if you get Deku Nuts, you'll see it changes to the green color when Tattle's out.
I only ever noticed that when playing on KZ. I initially thought it was just a KZ thing. I didn't realize it was a vanilla function.
Yep. Oddities viewers know. Oddities of Termina. Shoutouts to the 10 people that know about that.
I know about that. I watched that back in the day.
I still watch that. Anyone else watching in 2024? It's a good practice to go and watch old glitch videos, I think.
That one actually might be an anonymous tipster one of the anonymous tipster posts.
I think I've seen them a long time ago, but I don't remember much. Also, Kita mentioned earlier that we can get the ocarina from the clock tower, but we can't escape. This song is essential to how we're going to escape. That's why it's so important that we were able to get into one temple. This was the only temple we could get into, and it required the big bomb bag and all that stuff. So now it's clear why we had to do everything that we did in the order that we did it, because we needed to beat one temple to get the Oath to Order, and thankfully that's exactly what we had access to.
Yeah, when we were talking about this at the beginning, we knew we couldn't get into Great Bay because you need to be Zora to play the song to the turtle. We knew we couldn't get into Woodfall because, again, you have to be Deku to play the song. We considered Snowhead, but you need the bow to be able to shoot the fire arrows, and we can't get the bow. So, yeah, we decided Snowhead was the only option. Sorry, Stone Tower was the only option.
Yeah.
Really cool that one of them worked.
Yeah. But getting Oath to Order isn't enough, because if you play the Oath to Order and there aren't enough giants, all that normally happens is you stay on top of the clock tower, and Tattle just says, that didn't work, play something else, like play the Song of Time is the idea. So even just having the Oath to Order itself isn't enough to get us out of the clock tower. And if you've ever tried, you can go up the clock tower and you can die, but all that does is it start you back at the beginning of entering the clock tower. And even if you go and void out, you still end up right back to the start of the clock tower. So just how are we going to escape?
The normal viewer is thinking, obviously it's being set up, you just play Oath, and somehow that lets you escape. But that's not actually it. But stay tuned. We'll escape and then explain why it happens.
Yeah. Oh yeah, never mind.
Final hours music.
Yeah, here we go.
3 more dungeons, final hours.
Don't leave yet. This is probably the most interesting part of the run that's remaining. So the way we escape is it's something you want to stay for.
I'm just imagining someone watching up to this point and be like, whatever, who cares?
Yeah, this is the point where I'm gonna stop watching.
I don't know why I couldn't escape that text for some reason. Like I tried going everything I could do and it just kept coming up.
Both Lotads had that text.
Yeah. Alright, how are we supposed to hit the skull cave without bubbles? It's pretty simple. You can use bombs, you can use just about anything.
Oh yeah, we skipped magic.
That too.
I was gonna bring that up after this. It's pretty rare to see a run do that.
For first run that skips magic.
So it's nice that we were able to save a few bombs because we can use one here now. If only we could just throw Tattle at him.
Hey, it's Zarya dude.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot to say after this, but we'll let you see it first. We actually, at this point, while I was making the Lotad, we had to get on. A bunch of us had to get onto Discord at the same time and have a brainstorming session because of some unforeseen issues. But we'll tell you all about it once you see the result. So, if you didn't know, and you come up here and you watch this cutscene, and you finish, even though you were human when you entered the cutscene.
Spoilers?
This happens. It turns you back into Deku.
Human first cycle just to become Deku first cycle again.
All that hard work gone to waste.
But luckily we have tools now.
Tools assisted demonstrations.
Like BizHawk.
Alright, what are we doing?
Alright. Hold on, there's something in my back pocket I need to get out. There, hold.
Slowly.
So,
Alright, now we can explain.
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Alright, well let us see what happens, then we'll explain. Hold.
And Moonwarp, sorry for the spoilers, but I couldn't hold it anymore. I just couldn't keep it to myself.
That's a funny looking moon.
Alright, so if you heard in the previous Lotad, the auto order doesn't function properly when you don't have the ocarina in the ocarina slot, and this is what we meant by that. That you'll just get kicked out into the field if you don't have an ocarina in the slot.
Now I can finally get Song of whatever this is. Healing, that's what it was.
Yeah, and so that's why the bottle had to be duped over the ocarina right after Oath played, but before the cutscene started.
yeah, so the issue was we needed to play Oath to Order, so we needed an ocarina, but we also needed to have bottle instead of ocarina. So it's like, how did we do those both at the same time? So that was the thing we scrambled onto Discord to try and figure out.
Yeah, because we had a plan. The original plan was just dupe over ocarina, catch a fish in it, and then just use bottle ocarina items as Deku. But then when I went to do that, I realized we don't have shoot on Deku's B. So we don't actually have anything that we could do ocarina items on because we skipped magic. And so that's when we scrambled, like, is there any way to play the ocarina and still lose the ocarina? And eventually this was the solution that we came up with. You can play the normal ocarina, drop the fish first, play the normal ocarina, and then equip swap the bottle, an empty bottle, over the ocarina, and then pause buffer till you can catch the fish. And on that very last frame, it writes over the ocarina with the bottled fish. This guy doesn't actually check if you have an ocarina, just if you have something in the ocarina slot, so that's why this still works.
Also, time's moving at a normal rate, as you can not tell because time's paused right now, but because we have ocarina back, or the ocarina slot. Or wait, no. Yeah. I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah, because we have something in the ocarina slot.
Well, we get there in the end.
I understand.
Yeah.
But now that we have our sword, we can still use ocarina items even though we don't have the ocarina anymore. We just couldn't do it as Deku because we don't have shoot. So from here on, this Lotad's going to be a little bit more normal. We've kind of we've kind of gotten past all the main hurdles of the category of doing year one cycle. We finally got the ocarina back. We're human. Still the first cycle. We've got a little bit of time left. We have the Song of Time. We can slow down time if we need to. So yeah, we've cleared the big hurdles.
All right, everyone leave. There's nothing left to watch.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. There will be a few interesting things, but it's yeah.
We still have the time of day challenge. Like, we can't reset days.
Yeah.
And it's night 3.
Yeah,
That's past
only
midnight on night 3.
5 hours left. Non-inverted.
Sorry, did you say non-inverted?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I speak too early?
Yeah, we finally have Song of Time, so that's a possibility.
Yeah.
This is why Zelda taught it to us. It's the only reason. Yeah, when we were making this, we actually had no idea beforehand if it was gonna work, like if we'd be able to do everything before the moon crashed.
Yeah,
You just kind of hoped.
I was a doomer.
Yeah.
I was the MM doomer. I didn't think it was possible.
I never had a doubt.
I mean, the bit before, the only thing I had a doubt about was whether we could beat Stone Tower in first cycle. Because the hover takes so long, and the clock's going so fast.
So this is, I think, 5 times slower than first cycle. Inverted is 5 times slower.
Yeah, the question as to why we skip magic just because we can. No other
Yeah,
reason.
the only main
gonna say
reason to go ahead.
I was just going to say there were 2 really cool glitches found. One, the glitch to use items as Deku on English, and the one that found by Exodus to clip into the laundry pool, and we thought we'd just use both of them because they're both new and both really cool. So yeah, get the mask using the Exodus method and skip magic using the Deku method in Snowhead.
Yeah, because otherwise the only other normal requirement for Deku is just like shooting Skull Kid, which obviously isn't an issue in this run.
Yeah, oh, and I forgot to mention, the reason we went to Snowhead to skip magic, because we mentioned earlier on Japanese, well, I guess there's a couple of reasons, but yeah, on English, obviously you can't do the Honey and Darling glitch to use a mask to turn human, but it's not only that. If we wanted to skip magic, then you can't actually start the Honey and Darling minigame if you don't have magic. So even if we were to do magic skip and we could do this run on Japanese, then that wouldn't be possible. We wouldn't be able to do the Honey and Darling method.
And then we pushed Macau and time stop. We're gonna use time stop a few more times for the longer portions of what's left. Again, just because we didn't know how long it was gonna take. We didn't know if we really had enough time. So you'll see that more.
This is a perfect time to use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna head off now. Not to all leave at once, but I genuinely do have to go and do something right now downstairs.
All right, yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
see you later. Thanks for being here.
See you later. Enjoy the marathon.
Thank you. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of this. Really, like, I don't know. This run means quite a lot to me. The fact that this can be done. So, yeah, just enjoy it.
Oh, spoilers! We didn't tell them it can be done. We just said this set out to answer the question.
Yeah, it's actually gonna fail right before the end.
Yeah, we're gonna
We'll
get
leave
to
it on
the
a
part. Yeah.
leave it on a cliffhanger for next year.
Moon crashes right before entering Clock Tower.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll catch you all later.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks
All
again.
right,
Have fun.
see you later.
So from this point, there's no reason not to have the ocarina. So we want to try and get it back as soon as possible because we are going to need it before the end. Because the next time we play Out to Order, we want it to work properly. So let's see what we can do.
I'm back.
So first, we're gonna bonk this tree. Who knew that Deku nuts grow on this tree?
I'm not gonna say it, but a certain type of viewer knows.
Now we're gonna release this fish because after we do the get item manipulate, after we get the get item something, we're gonna have to manipulate it, and that's what the fish does. By having something that a bottle can catch next to us, it changes that Deku nut into the ocarina that we just got. So that's why we released and recaught the fish. Normally when you see this done in the swamp, you don't have to do that because all the swamp water can be caught in a bottle. But this water is not swamp water, so you can't catch it in a bottle. That's why we had to release the fish, because we need something that you can catch in a bottle thereby. So now our ocarina's back. This was another part that Glitches and Stuff did. We're out of bombs, but we want bombs, so we're gonna get bombs.
I like how just the C button for bombs appears.
Yeah, that's a little bit of video magic and pointing. What was it? Poking, address poking.
Oh, okay.
Key part. Yeah.
You know me, my newest scripting.
He did the same thing with the rupee display earlier in the field.
Only the astute viewers saw that one.
Yeah. So now we do the hover from that grotto into Deku Palace. Now we're actually here for the Sonata. And Glitches and Stuff did this part too. And you might have seen him store the song earlier. That was just so we can skip this first half of the monkey text.
Someone's background family's coming up.
Oh, sorry. Alright, now that we have that, we can just go straight to Woodfall.
Did we explain how index warp works?
I don't think we did.
No, we did not.
But who's gonna do it?
So...
Nobody.
Okay. Okay, as Woodfall is raising. So normally when you hit, when you learn the Song of Soaring, if you haven't hit an owl statue and you play the Song of Soaring, it just says, hey, you haven't hit any owl statues. But if you hit one, from that point forward, all the ones that you've hit will show up on the screen to see which one you travel to. But if we want to travel to one that we haven't hit, there's a glitch that we can do known as index warp. And it turns out there's actually an 11th owl statue in this game that you're not supposed to be able to reach. When you're in West Clocktown and you're looking at South Clocktown from that entrance, from the northern entrance. Well, first, watch this. This is another part that Glitches and Stuff did. Try to get this room without time moving too much. That's known as
Nice.
death. Yeah, death time stop. So when you die and land on a heart or a fairy or something to recover your hearts, you still live and you're in this time stop state. So that's how we got through that room. So back to what I was saying. There's an 11th owl. If you're in West Clocktown and you're at the northern entrance into South Clocktown and you look ahead, you see an owl statue. You're not supposed to be able to reach it though, because if you go towards it, you hit the loading zone. But through hovering, it's possible to get around the loading zone, and when you get there, you find out that they actually put a real owl statue in there. It's not just some graphical thing to make it look like it. It's a real, fully functional owl statue. But if you hit it, you're not supposed to be able to travel to it. So if you hit it and then play Song of Soaring, it doesn't tell you that you don't have any owl statues. It just puts you on a screen with no owl statues with the cursor already over the Great Bay owl statue index. So you can just warp straight to Great Bay anytime if you've hit the hidden owl. It was discovered later that if you go to the map in the normal pause menu and you put the cursor over any of those map locations, and then you play the Song of Soaring, the cursor will be on some other owl statue instead of the Great Bay one, and so you'll be able to sort of that one. If you try to press left or right on that screen, the game will freeze because you can't just switch to another owl statue. But if you change the index early and then play the song, you can just press A twice and go straight to that one. So there's a table online where you can see where each map point takes you on the owl index.
Yeah, they don't quite map to the ones you would expect. Like for example,
Right.
Warping to Woodfall here, you have to put the cursor over Snowhead.
Yeah. We don't have magic, which I've actually discovered has a big impact on this fight and other ones. Normally when you do a spin attack, I think you can hit him like 3 times because your blue magical thing is around you. That's not the case when you don't have magic. You only hit him once and then it gets really hard to stun him, so I just did some more jump slashes instead.
You could have got more bomb flower hits if you exploded it later, because it can hit multiple times.
Oh really? I didn't know that. So it could do like 16 damage?
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually thought that was what you were going for when I saw the bonfire pull.
Oh, I didn't know that. Good to know now.
Yeah, but it's like a very obscure, like super old thing.
This could have been faster if we had gotten the bow and left and come back later. You'll see why soon. But to save in-game time, we just went ahead and finished off. We could have skipped all this.
So it was like a game time versus real time trade-off.
Yeah.
Someone's asking about Remains Escape. But only the people that know about Remains Escape should also know why we can't do it. So there's really no reason that I even said that out loud. Just something to ruminate over until we can address that later.
Yeah, if you've been paying attention to all that we've said throughout the run, you'll probably know not only why we couldn't do Remains Escape yet, but also what we're about to do next. So you'll notice on that one, we didn't have to go to the map and choose a different index point because the default one is this Great Bay Owl already. Another instance of a long swim that we'll do in Time Stop and Super Swim.
Yeah, this one's cool because you're like alternating A and B to continue the super swim and sink down, right?
Yeah, and the amount of the amount of frames that you spend with each A and B matters. Like for some portion of it, you want to have a little bit more time with B than A so that you go down, but you don't want to do that the whole time because you don't want to hit the floor. So you got to like set out how much of each to do. And then we're going to do that again right here. Except it, yeah.
Now time is moving.
Yeah. This one's not as long as the other one. So you remember why we couldn't get the hookshot before? It's because we didn't have magic, so we couldn't use the Deku bubble, and we didn't have Deku Mask, and we didn't have bow. Now we have bow, so now we can come and get the hookshot.
Yeah, you can break hives with bombs or explosives, but in order to trigger the cutscene, you need to actually drop the hive, and only arrow or Deku bubble can do that. Who said that? That was my cat. I don't know where she came through.
Yeah, we heard that, but that's okay.
Yeah. That's better than okay.
Now we just need something in ZFG's background to finish it off.
I don't think there's currently anything. Well, I could always hit my mic. I hit my mic a lot. That'll probably happen at some point.
So if you didn't know, there is a place, that section over there, where you can stand and shoot your arrow into the beehive without triggering the cutscene. So that's what we did. And since we're here and we need an egg, no sense in going to Pinnacle Rock. We can just go ahead and grab this egg next. And we'll put it over our Eaton bottle.
And now I know what you're thinking.
What am I thinking?
I mean, we're just thinking. We're all thinking.
You're just a mind reader.
I know I was thinking it. So we're just gonna hang on to that Zora egg for a while and go to Snowhead. We're just gonna let it marinate just to cool off a bit. We'll go here first. This is also something that takes a while to travel, so we're gonna go ahead and time stop. I didn't use Z for this entire slide.
Nice. I like that. I always love the twitchy hiss.
Yeah, I had already done this once before with Z, so I'm like, yeah, let's do something interesting here. And gotta fall off. Always fall off there. And here's why we got the stick earlier. On that woodfall platform. We used one at the twin mold fight, but then we got another one on the woodfall platform.
Yeah, and again, that action swap is when you have a first-person item in hand, and then try to take out a Deku stick, but it gets interrupted by some text, like in that case it was Navi, or Tattle. Wrong game.
Watch the slide. Unfortunately, we only have one stick. One of our regrets after we finish this run was if we just gotten another stick, we could have made this fight a lot faster with the broken Deku stick. But
It's fine, because no one would have noticed.
Yeah.
But I would notice, and I have to admit it.
Pointing out your own mistakes.
Yeah.
The reason that there's hookshot targets in this temple, I'm not saying this sentence unaware, I read that from chat, is because this game does a lot of shortcuts, where if you have other dungeon items, you can go through the temples again faster.
Yeah,
It's actually one of my favorite things about the game.
Yeah, it's actually very good design.
Yeah, the main thing is, even if you beat in this temple, maybe later you realize, oh, I want to go back and get all the fairies. Then you want to come back here and use the hookshot. Oh, this was annoying. All these hearts in the way. We are going to want to die soon, so I had to use some explosives to drop my hearts, but man, trying to maneuver around those and not pick up any of those hearts was annoying. It was actually a really precise path to get through them. And again, we do that recoil to skip the boss key. Except this time we got the fire arrow, so we'll just use that.
But how are we going to use fire arrows without magic?
You just do.
Like a boss. That's how. It's a boss room. We'll use them like a boss. So yeah, magic elemental arrows as well as Zora shield. If you don't have a magic bar, then your magic just never goes down. You get an infinite amount of each.
Yeah, treats it as infinite magic for a lot of magic items like that.
Pretty much everything except a lens, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's like lens,
right.
lens, Deku bubble, and spin attack, I think.
Oh yeah, bubble and spin. Yeah, you're right. ZFG is pretty.
Yeah.
Say it. Say it.
No, that was under my sentence.
You can do spin attack, but it's just there's no magic around it.
Yeah, no magic spin.
Yeah. So we got the lens. We weren't able to use it, but the only reason it was helpful anyway is because it was unrestricted.
Oh, we're doing the has to go?
Yeah. And who was asking about Remains Escape earlier?
No one remembers. No one remembers the chat name. You could explain how to do it, though.
Yeah, so if you go into that blue warp with the hookshot in your hand, having already placed a bomb, then if you try to pick up the bomb during that animation, the game will recognize that you got the remains, but then the explosion will interrupt. It'll kill you before the text box comes up, and so you won't have to go into the cutscene. You'll just get the remains. And you need the hookshot. You have to have the hookshot in your hand, or it doesn't work. I don't know why. Anybody know why?
Why you need the hookshot?
Yeah, like why that matters. Why it needs to be in your hand.
Figo 2.
Yeah, we need Fig.
Yeah,
Fig on the call.
I can't answer that.
Oh, Safe says it's held by an actor.
There we go. Saved.
There we go. What just happened? We've lost our Deku Mask because we duped over it.
Good thing Woodfall's already done.
Yeah, it won't be missed.
So as far as we know, yeah, New Wave Bossa Nova is the only way to trigger or to get into the temple without
Yeah, there's no loading zone like far in the distance or anything.
yeah.
Just does not exist until you play the song.
Yep, and you need Zora Mask to play it. It's not enough to play it without it.
Yeah. This one's gonna be a little bit faster than the previous Lotad. We can learn it the normal speed runway. If you pull out your ocarina, you have, I think there's like a 3-frame window where if you pull it out again, two frame window where if you pull it out again, the song gets into your inventory, but you can just play another song. You can play Song of Soaring and get out.
Yeah, and there's no wrong warp to Great Bay Temple either.
Watch this Hess.
Yeah, doing that out of a Zora swim is always really cool.
I will do another super swim, but we won't use a bomb. We'll just go off the lever.
The lever, nice.
It's classic strats right there.
And we stopped doing any kind of time stop at these parts because this is when I realized, wow, we're actually going to have plenty of time. So, yeah. Sorry about that.
Now we get to see the cutscene skips.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pausing to delay the turtle cutscene and then entering the loading zone. That'll clear the cutscene out. And it's such a long cutscene that this cutscene is still worth it. So there's actually a little fun fact about that entrance to Zora Hall that hardly anybody knows, is that Zora Hall is shaped like a fish. So there's two entrances. You can enter through the mouth underwater, or you can enter through the butthole. That's
Good
an
to know.
Easter egg. Yeah, that's real. I didn't make that up. That's real.
That's what it says in the guide. One thing you may have noticed by now is we never got milk. I actually wanted to get milk. Others didn't want to get milk, and then it turned out to be a moot point because by the time I could get milk, it was already the third night, so you can't get milk. So we didn't do any remote hook stuff. So we'll just be using the old-fashioned bomb strats.
I was on team no milk. We've seen so much remote hookshot, but it's cool to see other strategies to do things.
Yeah, and you can actually use the same bomb that you used to clip in here to recoil.
Nice.
All that with one bomb. And then we'll do a weird shot to get goat so we can skip this cutscene.
If you hit go before you jump in, you can skip the intro cutscene that normally plays when you jump in that chasm.
Yeah, because he's loaded before you go down there, so if you can get your bow through the surface. You can also do it with the extended bow at the wall, but we had a bomb, so might as well.
Oh, did I say goat? I meant Adola.
Yeah, both of you guys said goat, actually.
Yeah, I only said it because he said it. Alright. And Gyorg is dead. So that's that for dungeons. But I also took enough damage during that fight to make this viable again. That was on the last possible frame that time. If the explosion happened a frame later, we would have started the cutscene and been stuck. So. And yeah, there's still plenty of time left, and there's also plenty of time stop that we didn't do. Yes, Link just picked up the blue warp, and that's why the remains got into his inventory.
Yeah, it's just part of the remains escape glitch, which allows you to get the. That just allows you to get the remains without having to watch the cutscene. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that time we got to skip the text because we already saw it.
Oh yeah, this is our second time up here. Keep seeing this cutscene. Third cutscene today.
Title has different text this time. Because things aren't going to work out the way he expects. So this time, Oath to Order should function normally.
Yeah, so I actually made it up here with quite a bit of time left, still an hour 45, and that was with like time stop like towards the end.
Yeah, and so the question came up, and a lot of people are probably thinking it now, is this RTA viable knowing that you have this much time left? I've been thinking about it, and I think eventually it may be. The main issue is having enough time to do all the stuff before, mostly the hover into Snowhead. But the
Stone Tower.
Stone Tower, yes. We've mixed up each of those for the other now. So the thing that I think is helpful to remember is we skipped a day and a half at the beginning.
Yeah, you still need the big bomb bag on night 3.
Yeah. So, but we might be able to use that beginning part to get the adult wallet, maybe even get the lens and come back.
You can do more setup. You can for sure do more setup.
Yeah.
I think it'll be difficult to do RTA. I think it would be easier to do low A than this one. RTA.
Oh, also,
really?
do we go over why this is only possible on Japanese? Because I know or only possible in English. Because on Japanese you'd be able to save some time not having to go get lens and do the Mountain Village stuff.
Yeah, but you need the switches.
I pointed it out already. The inverted tower to invert the tower.
Oh, right, yeah, because there's no switch on the Stone Tower side, so you wouldn't be able to invert Stone Tower on Japanese.
Yeah, no, I know we didn't do day reset, but technically it would still be in the first cycle. So if you got the Oath to Order in time, and you were able to get through that, even if there's just very little time left in the third day, you might still be able to go ahead and do day reset and get through the rest with no problem. So that's why I say it might be possible, but yeah, it would still be very tough.
Well, if we're counting like day reset stuff, you could do like the whole pause buffer thing.
Yeah, and then it becomes trivial.
Just a lot of
I guess you could do that.
Unless the clock tower opening cutscene messes it all up.
Yeah, but might be possible, but still very, very difficult. You'd have to do the big octo skip manually.
Oh, actually, I just realized this now. When I've been mentioning this, like, pause buffer day reset, it doesn't reset the day. It resets, like, the half day. So if you want to do a true day reset, you have to do the Zora method that we did in Low A.
Yeah, and then that would still mean you'd have to get Ocarina and Song of Healing before you could actually do a day reset.
Yeah. But when we did that here, we had like 5 hours left or something like that. So that's why I say it might still be possible. But yeah, I think the biggest help in this one was getting that really fast iceberg bounce. Like, I don't know how we got it that fast.
Yeah, that would also be another hard thing for RTA, right? Because I don't think there's a setup for that. You kind of just have to hope, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's RNG involved even in just the positioning of that iceberg when you enter the route, when you enter the area. So I don't know if you'd be able to set it up.
I think what RTA would do is play on Japanese and do the Honey and Darling method, and then for the Stone Tower invert, you would use the switches at the start of the temple and just pause buffer the entire hover.
That would be rough.
That would be extremely.
Would getting Elegy be viable?
You don't have form.
No,
you just need one.
That'd need arrows. Never mind.
You need Mirror Shield, I think.
I mean, Mirror Shield well, I guess Mirror Shield would need fire, which would need arrows. Or, I mean, I guess if you have Gibdo Mask, but no. Gibdo Mask plus sticks could do it, but then Gibdo Mask needs healing. So never mind.
So we used our last bomb chew to get a quick Hess into Majora. And once again, it's a shame we don't have another stick. I mean, the broken stick can still help a little bit, so we just went ahead and showed it off anyway, but it would be so much better if we had another stick.
Yeah, but no one would have noticed if you ended up. No, only the truly paying attention viewers would have seen that.
I want people to be informed. I'm a man of the people.
Yeah, you can keep your broken Deku stick if you do a jump slash at a wall with the correct spacing. Link just won't put it away.
Right now I can only do jump slashes because we don't have another stick. Thankfully it's not too many of them there. Another fun fact, the health actually underflows at that point.
Nice.
Oh, interesting.
It goes from 2 to 254 instead of 0. So now we can't do the spin attack to speed it up, so we can't just take a broken stick the whole time. We have to do this for the rest.
Spin attack being, if you rotate the stick as you land from a jump slash, you can jump slash again sooner.
Yeah.
Time?
Time, 1:29:29.
Nice.
Just like the number of A presses in the last run.
You did that on purpose.
There were 12,129 A presses in the last run.
Well, I think you pressed it a few frames late. It should actually be 0.29 there.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was definitely late on that.
Oh, that's cool though.
Yeah, really cool run.
Yeah.
Back to day one.
Yeah, really cool that this is finally possible. Like no technicalities, no SRM, just like straight up possible now.
Yeah, and you can see that the run was indeed like very different from the one 2 years ago. Like,
yeah,
the runs are pretty different, even though the goals are pretty much the same. Day 9, astute viewer saw that. Night 1, astute viewer saw that.
Yep. All right. Time for bonus stream number 2. We just needed about, what, 21 hours to set it up? Something like that?
Yeah. I will be doing one more Lotad premiere tomorrow of OOT Max Keys. So we have one more left, but I didn't want to do it today so we don't have to watch 3 back-to-back, which I know you guys will say you want to watch 3 back-to-back, but it would be long. But yes, we have one more tomorrow.
I think you never even once said what time it would be.
Oh yeah, I'll probably do an hour later than today. So probably noon PST, 3 p.m. or yeah, noon PST, 3 p.m. EST.
Oh wow, I totally guessed 21 hours. I got it exactly right.
Oh, was it actually? Yeah, basically. Yeah. Was that non-American times? Google it.
20 o'clock UTC. That's what you need. As long as you have UTC, you can figure everything out.
The 23-year-old dream finally alive.
Last input coming in soon. I always got to point out what the last input is.
The task timing end.
Thank you, Falcon. And congrats to Glitches and Stuff as well.
For those watching on YouTube, that was a response to a chat message saying, "Congrats, the Ox, for making this," which I agree. Congrats. I mean, thank
Yeah,
you.
this was very cool.
All right, here is the last input. This text box right here. There you go. Nice.
There were only a handful of desyncs, which was so overall this went a lot more smoothly than previous Lotads have made. That might just
a pain.
Yeah, that might just be because it's a lot shorter than any of the other ones.
But yeah, so I'll upload this commentated version on YouTube. The Ox can do like the uncommented version.
Yeah, so on the uncommented one, I actually have a little bit more info at various points on this in the run. Just pointing to certain memory addresses, like during the hover, it shows you your actual Y height throughout the whole thing, so you can see where you are and how much each part helps. and other counts and like boss health and stuff. So
Cool.
yeah.
And so both the commentated versions of these will be on Kita's channel later.
Yeah. Later today, even.
Yeah, I've got to send them right after the stream.
But yeah, so with this, that was 10 years in a row, every single February 21st, since 2015 to now, for 10 straight years, we've done a commentated Lotad, which is crazy. And yeah, I mean, it started as a complete accident. It wasn't even planned that that would be the case, but once I noticed it, I wanted to keep it going. But yeah, as far as on my end goes, I consider the project to be complete 10 years. So I'm not going to hold myself to do it anymore in the future. But it doesn't actually mean that there's not going to be more February 21st. It's the opposite. There's always going to be some Lotads that people are going to show on February 21st. People have been, like, contacting me. Like, there's already something planned for next year, honestly, and like over a year in advance. Like, I just wanted to show that people can like do tool-assisted stuff without taking the time to do it perfectly.
Yeah, and just doing cool challenges, even if they might not be like the typical type of challenge that would normally come to someone's head.
And yeah, like, if I just mean, when I say I consider the project complete, I just mean that I am not going to be the one doing like all the preparation and stuff, but if people want me to commentate, I'll happily do that. The inventor of the term Lotad, that was a chat question, probably Ringrush. Ringrush, the OG challenge creator.
I thought it was the Pokemon company.
Don't give them credit.
Nope.
This is
Anyway.
legally distinct name.
I'll post the Discord in the chat again, and on YouTube it'll be in the YouTube description. There's a Discord that we've been using to plan Lotads and Zelda 64 challenges in general. So if something like this is interesting, like if you're like, wow, these Lotads are cool, I want to make them in the future. It could be you. It could be the girl reading this. You could be the next person to make a Lotad.
You'll have a whole community here to support you.
Yeah. If you do Ocarina of Time, there's GZ, which makes it a lot easier. GZ is very accessible.
Yeah, it's the best thing to ever happen for OOT. Someday KZ will get macro recordings.
If it's possible. I don't even know
If it's possible, yeah. It seems like it'd be very difficult to implement. Probably needs like VC decomp.
To the chat question, someday they'll make another Zelda like OOT and MM, right? I hope so. I have not been a fan of the direction of the last two.
You just opened a huge can of worms.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Here we go.
Well, actually, that's good. Now all the YouTube comments will be about that instead of what else.
You
it could
just
be about.
you just distracted all the YouTube comments.
Yeah. And time to walk away right now. Just drop the mic. I've already distracted all the Twitch comments from here on.
Yeah.
It's fine. They weren't saying anything. What was the total hiccup count?
I think it was just 3. Was there a 4th one? Did anyone catch a 4th one?
4.
Yeah, somebody had said 4 in chat earlier, like right when Majora died.
Okay.
But now I'm getting a lot of different numbers.
But the actual number that matters is the astute count. Or wait, was that already paid out?
I think they stopped the count right before I said it like 2 more times.
Okay, yeah, it was already paid out. But yeah, I mean, we all know you kind of just robbed Chad by intentionally not trying to not say it.
I didn't do that.
But I mean, you're within your right to do that.
All right, that's it. The end.
All right, that's it.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you
Thanks
all so
for
much for
watching, everyone.
being a part of this. It's the first February 21st that I've participated in, so thank you so much. It was a blast.
Yeah, that was great. Loved watching it.
Yeah, good job. Good run.